Election Talk. This is the program that will be giving you now and then. As you know that in 2023, Zimbabwe is going to yet another general elections. And as you know, during that time, before, during and after, there is a lot that happens. And also some political parties gain new members because of probably their manifesto. Others also defect to other political parties because they believe that it is time to move. And as usual, the Constitution of Zimbabwe respects freedom of association. Everyone is free to join any other political party that they want. My name is Robert Tafmani. Welcome to Sly Media, your favorite online TV, where we give you several various entertaining programs. But as I've said from the beginning, this program is Election Talk, where we talk about issues that happens during the election time. And you may have heard during this week that former national chairperson of the Movement for Democratic Change, Tsvangirai MDCT, Senator Morgan Komichi, has joined ZANU PF. We have invited him to probably to say to him, congratulations, or to deny, because to some he has not, to others he has joined ZANU PF. So we have said, no, the only person who can tell you and me is him, Senator Komichi. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Robert. How are you?
Toti makurukotere takaona pa social media kunzi. In fact, poster racho rakauya, you know how it came as breaking news. Senator Morgan Komichi has joined ZANU PF. What's the position now?
I wouldn't want to waste time, wasting Zimbabweans' time, golden time. Zimbabweans need a solution. Zimbabwe need a solution. They are suffering politically, economically, socially, and they need leadership to provide solutions to their problems, other than focusing on trivial issues. I would very much want to spend most of my time on consulting, discussing, suggesting solutions to the Zimbabwean challenges that are real. So it is very trivial for me to be engaged in such false accusations or false allegations. I'm a person who is very free to speak his mind. If I decide to change the political party, I'll be the first person to announce the world.
Okay, and
I don't.
This is the platform.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
So people should not speak on my behalf.
Okay.
People should not announce what I've never said, or what I've never thought, or what I don't even intend to do.
Okay.
I have not joined ZANU PF.
Okay.
I don't intend to join ZANU PF. I don't at all. And so that breaking news item that is floating all over the all over social media, it's an act of stubborn people. Some people would want to tarnish my image. Some people who are fighting with me politically for their own personal agendas. I know them, but I don't have time, or do not waste my time by getting into details of who is who, but I know them.
Okay.
I've spoken to them. They now know that I know them. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to dwell much on that.
Okay. You know them. Probably you confided to them that you want to join ZANU PF, and they were way ahead of you and broke the news. Now
that's why I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you and the world right now. I have never discussed with anyone, and I don't intend. I've never dreamt, and I don't think it's a possibility for me to join ZANU PF. I'm a true opposition leader with a history. I've fought ZANU PF for the last more than 20 years, and I'll continue to fight ZANU PF for the next years of my life. So I don't intend to join ZANU PF at all.
But is there anything wrong joining?
It is one's opinion. If one decides to join ZANU PF, just like others are joining ZANU PF, others are joining CCC, others are joining MDC. It is their own right to do so. Really, I don't know. That's why I say, why should I really engage myself in those kind of discussions? To me, they are very trivial. they have no value at all to what I should be contributing to the Zimbabwean life.
Okay, probably as an opposition leader, would you join another opposition party from MDCT to any other? We have several. If given another chance, would you leave your political party?
What I've advocated for has been a national unity. National unity which is divided into two. The first phase of national unity should be the coming together of the opposition political parties. I don't subscribe to several political parties that are so divided because they don't add value to the common cause of the Zimbabwean life. They don't add value. And then after that, I'm calling for the national unity because I'm saying the national unity has become the foundation for peace in the country. And I do believe when a country has got unity and peace, it forms the basis for economic development. Because they say peace and development are two sides of the same coin. As long as the country has no unity and there's no peace, forget about development. And we are saying we must focus on issues of development for the people of Zimbabwe to benefit. At the moment, I'm so disturbed when I look at the last 20 years of MDC or the last 42 years of our country, of our independence. There are specific people that are always benefiting, who are namely Member of Parliament and a councillor. The people that are being used to employ those people into Parliament and council continue to remain in abject poverty. So that worries me most. So I've decided, and I want to stand with the people that are suffering, the people that are living in abject poverty. I am researching and consulting for people to start thinking on how we can help the general public, the people that we used to vote. I feel guilty, very guilty, when I look at the people that are in the locations, that are in the rural areas, that are in the farming community, that are all over the country, whom we drive so much through political rallies, whom we drive to go and vote and register. But immediately after voting, they go back to their state of lives, which is abject poverty. That is why Zimbabwe now is attained 49% of people living under abject poverty, and more than 64% are poor. But we've got leaders in this country, we've got leaders in Africa who are refusing to think on how best we can formulate systems and programs that will make our people benefit.
Yes,
so we don't want to abuse people like that.
Yes, Senator. They say charity begins at home. In as much as you are an advocate for unity among political parties, we have not seen that kind of core within your party, MDCT. It seems now MDCT is more divided than it was before.
I am standing before your camera as Senator Morgan Komichi.
Yes.
This is my character.
Yeah.
This is my ambition. This is my vision.
Yes.
As Morgan Komichi, not as MDC, not or any political party.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
I want to.
I
want to advocate.
Let me rephrase my question, yes. Senator. In as much as you are calling for the unity at that level of the opposition parties, you are a top leader from an opposition political party, which obviously you represent, and you are a member of, and you have been a member for that political party. Let's be honest with the viewers and the people that follow your party. From my point of view, as a media person, the situation in your political party does not show the kind of unity that you are calling for.
But I'm talking about it. Right now, I'm talking to the whole nation, to all Zimbabweans, to all political leaders, to all party presidents. I'm talking about this message. I would talk to every leader in this country, and I will actually pay visits to their offices to talk about national unity, to talk about opposition political parties should unite. I'm going to pay visits to them, because I do believe that if the opposition people want to make significant change in this country, they cannot go to an election divided, because they must realize that the ruling party is a formidable force, and it has got a mechanism to unite its own people. And the party is beyond the political party that you know as ZANU-PF. The ZANU-PF is assisted by the state organs. So it's a huge animal. It's an elephant before us. So if we are to really approach them and probably provide a great challenge that will have significant change, we must be united. We must go As what we did in 2008, remember we tried our best when we forged an alliance. The whole strategy of the alliance was to be formidable. And we did quite a lot. We did quite well. Remember, our votes, ZANU votes and the MDC alliance votes were almost close to each other. The difference was very, very, very small. This is what we should always aim. So if we go to election in the state we are now as opposition, we'll be missing it before ZANU-PF.
Yeah, I understand.
So I still call upon all political parties, as individual parties and collectively as with other parties, to unite.
And their supporters.
Yes, to unite.
That's when I'm saying, if you look at 2018 when you formed MDC Alliance, you know, various political party leaders, you came together with your supporters. But I am still saying, and let's put this on record, Senate. Your political party, in as much as you are not the spokesperson and you are not speaking on behalf of the political party, there is no unit. And probably you are going right around the question, probably are the cause of that division. I don't know. But in your party as we saw, there are a lot of recalls, unprecedented since because of the new leadership that is there. That alone, Senate, it's a cause for concern, and there's division. If you recall a councillor, an elected councillor, if you recall an elected member of parliament, the people that voted for them, obviously they're disgruntled. How then can you unite those people from your party so that all opposing political parties will say, this person is coming from a united party and they are leading by example. Let's follow them, let's join hands with them.
That responsibility will be left for the president of the party.
Okay.
I, as a member, will talk about it. I'll preach about it, like what I'm doing now. I'm going to preach about this question, this issue of unity. Individual parties must unite, and collectively, as many as other political parties, we must unite. I will remain religious about that. I believe in unity. I want peace. I want order, and I know if we do not unite, we will not garner good votes. If we don't unite, we will not be able to dislodge ZANU-PF. If we do not unite, we will be of no significance. If we do not unite, people will not trust us at all. If we don't unite, people will lose confidence in us. We must give a perception of unity. We must make sure that we unite. And I do believe any political party that is serious for to change things for the Zimbabweans in this country, they must be talk and preach, and they must also live in unity.
So far as when you approach other opposing political leaders, you know, preaching the gospel of a coalition, what has been the response from those leaders?
Yes, the question of unity, very few people will go against it because it's a moral issue. The question of peace, very few people will go against it because it's a moral issue. The question would be, would they act? Because simply agreeing or accepting the discussion is not enough for me. I would want to see people coming together, sit under the same tree, discuss issues of unity, share power. Because I believe that when we unite and we've got peace in the country, we are able to destroy poverty. If you remain disintegrated, ununited, you share poverty and you have got power individual people. It won't help us. Like in the case of the nation right now, I do believe that the nation must share power among political parties. If we share power, we'll be able to destroy poverty. Currently, we are not sharing power, but we are sharing poverty. Whereas power is centered in one party. That is unstrategic and unclever. So leadership must not be so possessive with power. They must think about how can we do to make the people of our country live well. I have examples and references in times when we shared power. In 1980, when we came from the War of Liberation, we shared power among ZANU-PF, ZAPU, UNC, and RIF, the Smith Party. And we achieved three components, which is unity, peace, and shared the common vision, focusing on the economy. The economy then developed, and the general public benefited. In 1987, after the ground issue, we shared power. Joshua Ngom became the vice president, Mugabe became the president. The three elements of my call were achieved: unity, peace, and common vision. The economy developed, and people in general benefited. In 2008, you remember the ZANU MDC clash over the results of 2008? We came together and we united. We achieved, after forming a GNU, we achieved unity among the people of Zimbabwe. We achieved peace among the people. We had the common vision and our economy grew. And these are the three examples that I can give you, in which the only time I witnessed the people of Zimbabwe benefiting from an election process. Zimbabwe has benefited. This is a reference, this is a situation which is there on record. All other elections that we have been doing have been benefiting a member of parliament and a councillor only because of the misunderstanding of the issue of power. So the power must be shared. When we share power, it's the mechanism for unity. Sharing of power is the mechanism for unity, is the mechanism for peace, is the mechanism for sharing the common vision, which is focusing on economic development. So the solution to our Zimbabwean challenge is already there. What I'm calling the people of Zimbabwe right now, all political leaders, is to have the ability to see reason out of this. Do not be selfish. Don't be self-centered. Don't be egocentric. You shouldn't be a person who wants too much power on your own. Share with others. If you share the power with others, you'll be serving the people of Zimbabwe that you are purporting to be representing. Failure to accept this idea of sharing power, you are lying to the people. You are a cheater because you want to achieve your own self-centered goals.
So what kind of language should we expect from political leaders when they address their supporters as you call for unity?
Right now,
why I ask this is some of the language that you as political leaders use at political rallies, it's something else.
We must all learn with the time as we graduate from stage to stage to be mature. What is it that we want to achieve? Yes, I would want to achieve a position for myself, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing for a leader, for me in particular, is to change the lives of the people of Zimbabwe positively. So whenever I start thinking, I must start thinking of mechanisms which will make the people of Zimbabwe benefit. For example, as we go towards election right now, I want us to know that there are so many actors in election. There are political parties, there are members of parliament, there are councillors. These are some of the people that we find and they are also voters, about 4 actors. And out of these 4 actors, the greatest loser of the election process in Zimbabwe are the voters. They gain nothing. They gain nothing. What is a parliamentarian goes to parliament, a councillor goes to the council, a party is happy to receive, what do you call it, the government grant funds, at least the benefit out of the election. But the voter himself or herself continue to live in abject poverty, to languish in abject poverty. So I'm saying, whenever we go for rallies, let's think about these voters. These voters don't want us to continue fighting. These voters don't want us to spend time calling each other names. These voters, they want us to unite. These voters, they want us to have peace. These voters, they want us to have common vision. These voters, they want the economy of Zimbabwe to develop so that they can grow. Because they got the reference of lives where they've been experiencing the unit of the party leadership in 2008. You remember very well in 2008, prior to 2007, in 2006, the Zimbabwean economy reached the worst decline in the history of the world. The worst decline in the history of the world. But immediately after uniting the political parties, within 6 months' time, the economy of Zimbabwe changed. Shops that were empty were filled. Schools that were closed were opened. Hospitals that were empty of medicine, they were all filled. Simply because of uniting, putting forward peace, sharing the common vision, they were achieved. We now know. So this is not an easy thing. Many people, because they are used to a certain rudimentary structure that we've been using for the last 40 years or so, it's very difficult for them to transform from the practice that we've been doing for years to the new thinking. The new thinking is a challenge for many people. And I would want to engage people to say, let us discuss this new idea. It's a transformational process that must take place. We must transform and say, what do we want as Africans? The challenge that I've seen in our African countries, not only Zimbabwe, but Africa at large, we are not using our homegrown systems in governance. We are using Western type of governance system, like in Zimbabwe, vis-a-vis the Eastern type of governance system. In Zimbabwe, opposition people believe in the Western democracy. But ZANU-PF does not believe in the Western democracy. They do it, but they don't believe in it. They believe in the Eastern democracy, the Chinese type of democracy, in which they change leadership among themselves. If they are talking of democracy in ZANU-PF, they would want to change leaders among themselves, from Gabe to Mnangagwa, from Mnangagwa to X, from X to Y, as they go like that. As far as they're concerned, that's their democracy. When you bring in Western democracy to them, you are bringing back an enemy. In their view, in their minds. So they will never respect Western democracy, no matter what you do. That is why you see all parties that went for the liberation war, all of them do not respect Western democracy. It is now a fact that since Africa was established, Black Africa was established, that is after the War of Independence. There's never been a war, the part of the post-liberation war party, which has ceded power to an opposition party through an election.
So what happened in Zambia and Malawi?
Zambia didn't go to war. Malawi didn't go to war. Zambia was given power on the silver platter by the Queen. Malawi was given power on the silver platter by the Queen. These are they are on different league. The Lesotho ones, the Malawi and Zambia, Botswana, they never went for war. They had war people that went for the liberation struggle for 10 to 16 years. It's Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, South Africa, Namibia, Angola, to mention but a few. They've never ceded power to an opposition through an election. The way they are structured, they don't believe in that.
No, but
in their own mind,
you are saying, in as much as these revolutionary parties go to elections and lose elections, they will never cede power.
They've never. Where people can agree with me, 2008, Robert Mugabe lost elections to Changirai. And if you know very well, the 2000 election itself, Robert Mugabe did not win. Because while you got 57 seats as per the election commission results announcement, we went to court and we won 10 more seats to make them 67. But the court case has not been heard up, no.
So who is to blame?
No, don't blame anyone. Don't blame anyone. That's the reality on the ground. There's a need for the reality check for the people.
But look, you are in opposition party. You've won 10 more seats. And then what?
What do you do?
You tell me. That's why I'm asking you. Yeah. You do what you did.
This is a reality check. The ZANU-PF is not a ZANU-PF, a party like MDC. ZANU-PF, on top of it, there is the state. When you look at ZANU-PF, look at the bureaucrats, look at the prison services, look at the central intelligence, look at the army, look at the police. That all conflates into ZANU-PF. So when you stand up as an opposition party, you are fighting that. President Mnangagwa is the president of ZANU-PF. But at the same time, is the state president who commands these elements and Tukuta. So if you want to reach his position, he's protected by those state organs. So they will not allow. That's why, in reality, people do want to deny.
Okay.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
The Chama Cha Mapinduzi party is the oldest liberation party in Southern Africa. It has got more than 62 years in power. Do you think Tanzanians have never voted opposition in those countries?
Okay, Senator, you said the revolutionary parties or the political parties that
they
went
don't
to war,
hand over power.
They don't hand over power.
They don't.
But, and you said the type of governance they are following the ones from the East, the Chinese. Let's compare the economies of the two.
That is where that is where the problem is. So in Zimbabwe, for example, there's a conflict of democracies. Politically, opposition are pushing for the Western democracy. Politically, ZANU-PF is pushing for the Eastern democracy. So these democracies clash. And as they clash, the economy declines. As they clash, create economic crisis. That's why our economy are not failing, because we don't have a governing system that we are using.
But what can stop a ruling party from managing the economy when they have every power that you are talking about?
You need power, but you need access to the financial markets. As they contrast the Eastern democracy, the Western democracy. The Western democracy controls the financial market. So they will not provide easy access to it.
So how is the Chinese economy striving when...
That is where I want to come. That's what I want to come. The Chinese economy, it thrives because the Chinese developed their homegrown governance system. So they are running their economy on their homegrown governance system, which has no checkers from outside. They are able to drive their economic vehicle on a governance system which they understand, which is original, which has got their own culture, which has got their own identity.
But are the Chinese not also driving their policies to the people that follow them?
Africa needs to develop its own governance system. That has no relevance to the East or the West. Africa is suffering from a point of view we are not using our governance system with our culture and our originality and our identity. So Africa needs to develop its own African governance system.
Okay.
Because governance system are things we see. That's why we are failing. That's why we see whatever we try to do, nothing is improving. Because we are using a system that we don't understand. So my call to the African leaders, not only Zimbabweans, is to develop an Afrocentric governance system. An Afrocentric governance system that is identified with our culture, in our identity, in our originality. Just like what the Chinese did, they developed the Chinese governance system that has got the Chinese culture, identity, and originality. So Africa needs to develop that. Would you want to answer me a simple question? Africans live on the richest continent on earth, but we are the poorest people on earth. It's because we are not using our original things.
Or it is because of the caliber of politicians. It might be the caliber of politicians that we have, including yourself.
It's not.
For us, let me say this.
Let me catch you there. It's not. Because this is the thinking that we're having as Africans. We are using a British type system here of governance. We're using an American type governance system here. We don't know about it. We never developed it. We're not there when developing us. We're not even consulted. So we're using a borrowed thing which we don't know its originality. And it's pushed on us by the Western world. And they are the ones who they want to verify whether you're doing it well or right. For example, at the moment they're getting prepared to come in motor elections coming August here. Have you ever asked your question whether we've been invited as SADC or as AU to go in motor elections in Britain?
But who invites them?
This is the problem I'm saying.
Who invites them? This is you politicians who invite them.
No. Don't say that. I'm giving the problem to African people. Not politicians. African people are failing to transform. I'm talking about transformation.
Let's localize this debate.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about Zimbabwe. Who invites the observers to come and monitor the election?
It is because the African person is failing to transform in Zimbabwe, for example. It is the failure to transform, the failure to see reality, the failure to see that we must do our own thing. I'm not talking about individuals here. I'm challenging even myself.
Yes.
I'm saying, we need to be innovative, to look at our own environment, to look at our own issues as Africans. Are we doing the right thing? The answer is no.
So the answer is no.
Yes.
And with the caliber of politicians that we have ruling and opposition, do you think they will accept your idea? Or we need to remove all of you and put in new leaders?
No, it won't help you.
It will help because it's your...
It won't help you. It is the idea that must be nurtured first. It is the idea that must be taught to people first. It's the idea that must be accepted by the people first. That we need to be original in nature. We need to come to the basics of our own thinking and be proud of ourselves as people and to say we can develop our own governance system.
But it looks like when you bring in new ideas like what you are doing, you become an enemy of the leadership within your political party.
Just like Mama Gaddafi. Mama Gaddafi was targeted because of his originality, his culture, and his vision. Kwame Nkrumah became an enemy as well because of his vision and originality. I can be one of those people. I am prepared to start a new chapter and call all leaders in the world, in Africa here, and say, let us develop our own governance system. I hear lecturers.
Do you think you have friends?
And I don't care.
Because it looks like let's come to Zimbabwe. When you don't toe the line of your political party or your political party leadership, you are labeled an enemy. Probably to a certain extent, when I remember Parliament, you are recalled.
Robert.
So
Robert,
I am saying,
Robert,
Senate.
I have a dream. And I'll pursue my dream.
Yeah.
We must develop Afrocentric governance system.
Do you think that your dream will come into reality?
It will. It will. And I'll spread this message. I will advocate for it. I will meet people and I'll address people. It's a dream that I have. And I want to see this dream come into fruition. It must mature and people must adopt it. We need to have Afro governance system. Africans work in collectivity by nature. Africans work as unity by nature. Let's go back to the basic governance system that we've used at our home. Kumushira kune yatinoti nimbe. Nimbe oneziva kana kuti umwe. Even if Mr. Tafumane anga asina chipani chemombe chokurima kana gejo, aingokutsvaga chete hari yedoro nembudzi, musha wose waiuya kuzomurimira, musha wose waiuya kuzomukowera kuzomusakurira muda wake. At the end of the day, economy yake yaimprove. Those are the basics of the governance system. How can we develop an Afrocentric governance system? We now have social scientists that are there. We now have traditional leaders that are there. Let them be brought together and sit down and say, let's develop our own Afro governance system and develop it to modern days. Not necessarily to go back to Ume type, but develop it to the modern days, applying the new technology that we have. We need to do that.
Nderekuti imimi vatungamiriri vedu isusu vanokuvoterai, imimi vatungamiriri vedu hunhu hwenyu makananzva keki rinonaka, kuti muchizoti pakeki iri ngatichipai kuvana ava hamusi kuda, saka shanduko yamuri kudaka tinoda kuti itange nemi motiratidza kuti honai zvataita isusu. Ndosaka ndiri kuti nekaliba nehunhu huripo hwevatungamiriri variko iye zvinezviseneta munokwanisa here kubatana pachenyu.
Panotanga munhu wani anouya neidea iyoyo. Kana munhu wani auya neidea iyoyo anofanira kuva the ability and the capacity to sell the idea to others. And vanenge vanzwa zvawaita izvi, you become part of the system to advocate for this idea. So that tita collectively tibata tita ideas avo tinogona kuita come out and change. Even when Jesus came down on earth, he was alone. But he started to spread the word of God, the New Testament. He was, humiliated. He was beaten. He was done everything. And he died on the cross. But even after his death, today people are preaching about the gospel of Jesus. So it needs leadership with that vision, leadership with that dream. I have a dream. I have a dream and I'll pursue the dream. And as long as I live, I want to push the dream for an Afrocentric governance system. Because I do believe to have an Afrocentric governance system. Because I do believe the Afro governance system should have 3 units, which is unity, peace, and focus on the common vision. So if we have focus on the common vision, and we got peace and we got unity, that forms the Afro governance system. We have already done it anyway. I'm not preaching something new. I've given examples. In 2008, when we had the GNU, that's an Afrocentric governance system where we share power and destroy poverty. in 1987, with the GNU, that's an Afro-governed system, we destroyed poverty and we shared power.
As in 2008,
so we have that kind of thing. We have that kind of a thing. So do you know one thing that will happen if we have followed that governance system? Africa will become the most independent continent on earth, and will enjoy the best freedom as Africans. Because, we don't have enough, not adequate independence. We don't have adequate freedom because we are subjected to the whims of the Western world. We are subjected to the whims of the Eastern world. We are like toys. We are squeezed under the international relations politics of the Eastern world and the Western world. Their challenges up there. And also we suffer the pinch of their conflicts.
Okay, Senate.
If the Western world wants to fight the Eastern world, they fight through us. If the East wants to fight the Western world, they fight through us. Over Zimbabwe, look at what's happening today. We are under sanctions. People are taking our minerals, and we are the losers. And if we develop an Afrocentric governance system, we would negotiate with the East on the equal footing. We will negotiate with the West on the equal footing. They will not come and bulldoze us here. They will not even come and monitor our elections, by the way. Because they won't understand it.
Tiripa ma-sanctions nekuda kwevatungamiriri vari kutitungamirira. Maminerals edu ari kutorwa achienda nekuda kwevatungamiriri vari kutitungamirira. Hongu kana kuti kwete.
That's why I'm preaching the new transformational system. That's why I'm preaching.
The
fact I'm already preaching about change. Those are the weaknesses that we have. My weaknesses are we are not independent. We do everything for them.
Senator, kuti imimi muri kuramba kuti upenyu hwatinawo nhasi isusu semaZimbabweans uri kukonzerwa nevatungamiriri kusanganisira.
That's why I'm not talking about the transformation. The transformation from soul to Paul. Realize the mistakes that we're doing during Saul's time, and appreciate the Paul's period, which I'm calling about. Right now, if the Zimbabweans would agree right now, and agree on the trajectory to develop an Afrocentric governance system, you could still be free and independent. Do you know there's a man who's already done, who is almost doing that right now? A man in Africa, Rwanda. The governance system here in Rwanda is very inclusive in nature. The president, the vice president, the prime minister, the vice come from different political parties, and that's an Afrocentric governance system. Don't even worry about, because it has got an element of unity, element of peace, element of focus on economic development.
That is what political party.
I agree. I agree with you. That's why I'm here. I'm talking about
2008. Pakanga paine unity kubva kuma political parties ndokubatana, and MDC was strong. ZANU was strong in its own. Vakabatana pakati government. 2018 makabatana imi ma-opposition political parties makarova ZANU. Asi yezvinezvi manje tikada kuenda kuma-opposition political parties acho.
They agree with you because opposition iri pa-weakest point.
Kubva kupati kwete
opposition as it is now, it has been dealt with a big blow, and it needs to wake up, and it needs to realize that there's no time.
But why do you find yourself in that position?
Do you know that if we don't unite as opposition, we are going to receive one of the greatest blows as opposition?
But why do you find yourself more divided now when you've got examples that you've mentioned?
No.
Why as opposition political party leaders you are more divided now than you were?
The ruling party creates a budget to divide opposition political parties.
Okay.
Yes, it does that. And it assigns intelligence officers to come in, to go and divide opposition political parties. And opposition political parties fall into that trap. They should know that. One of the tasks of the intelligence officers is to make sure that they divide opposition political parties. And opposition becomes victims of that. And as a result, we become weak. We are at our weakest point in terms of perception-wise to the people. Because people are not so divided. One is a problem. We want to share confidence. One confidence. I agree with you. We are. That's why I've gone back and said, let us now start thinking. Let us be original in our thinking. Are we doing the right thing? Is the right? Yotikita is this way, kind of, must think outside the box. We must think as Africans. So I'm calling for people, and the one thing that I've identified, which is one of the causes for poverty or challenges in Zimbabwe, political and economical and socially, is the governance system we're using. We are using a borrowed system that we don't know. That is why we are failing. Do you know that, for example, Zimbabwe, it will never run a free and fair election.
Okay.
It will never run it. The ruling party will never accept my reforms. Even if they accept my reforms. Reform is just a paper. The mindset will not change. The mindset is about power. There are certain entitlements which the ruling party has. They went for the war of liberation. They defeated the imperialists. They took power through the armed struggle. Unfortunately, what then happens? The former imperialists happen to side with opposition. In the minds and the eyes of the ruling party, they don't see me, Komichi, as a black person, as black as I am. They see a person who is white, who is behind me. And they say, Komichi. So even if I beat ZANU PF for my election, they won't surrender power, as they've done for the last 20 years. Tsvangirai never lost a single election by anything. By the way, Tsvangirai won all elections of his time, but they never surrendered power to him. Because one is certain entitlement of the war of liberation. Entitlement. So I'm saying these are the things that I say the young generation must appreciate, the old generation must appreciate the young generation. And we need to unite these two generations so that they understand each other's concerns. The young generation, one of my concerns are a succession by age. The old generation, in my concerns are of the war of liberation and the land reform. These concerns, they need to be brought together under a table. And the people understand each other by then agreeing on a form of governance. The governance that I'm talking about here is a government of national unity that is inclusive. In that governance, which forms the transition of the future, it's inclusive of the young generation, inclusive of the old generation. A trust and confidence is then developed and built around each other. The fears that got the young generation will be cleared. And the fears which the old generation has will be cleared. And will become one generation, one system. If you ask the young generation right now, what do you want to do? They will tell you, to improve our lives, they want to Zimbabwe. If you all go to the old generation and you ask them, they will tell you that we want to improve the lives of the Zimbabwe. So where are we fighting? So as the Africans, we work through unity, peace, and focus on the common vision. Let us come together. What I'm calling upon right now is the opposition party coming together with ZANU PF and share the concerns and dialogue and form a government of national unity for the people of Zimbabwe, not for your selfish ends.
But isn't it the formation of a government of national unity is for the benefit of politicians who would maybe to a certain extent said they've overstayed in parliament, in politics?
Yes, of course. What I've told you, the current system that we have, minus government of national unity, benefits politicians, members of parliament, and the councillor. Check. The voter who will be used to vote for those people will go back to languish in abject poverty. Your business will not grow. The students at the universities, they will never get grants. The vendors will not get anything. The unemployment will continue to rise. The poverty levels will continue to increase. Exchange rate is going to go up. Hyperinflation is going to be affecting us, and it will affect the voter. And the member of parliament and the council will be cushioned somehow because it is in employment. So when you form a GNU, these people still continue to benefit, the member of parliament and the council. But it will be inclusive this time around with the voter now.
Senator, isn't it time? Look at the politicians that we have, members of parliament. Some of them have been in parliament since 1980. And come 2023, we are seeing let me finish. We are seeing posters of the same people wanting to contest. Are you guys saying this is your career now as politicians?
Do you know why we're looking at that?
Yeah.
It's because of the abject poverty. If we're living in riches, we will not even bother about who is there. Do you know that when you improve the economy, people, they will never bother who is the president?
And they will not be bothered. Even like politicians like you, they will say, I have saved the people, let me retire from politics. And
yes, because of the economy. Now there's no economy. So they are having their careers there because hakuna economy yacho. Yet if we form a GNU and they develop our economies, people will retire, will go and do business, investments and what, go and farming and so forth, so forth. Young people will not even bother to, because pama short listing is ZANU-PF. Young people, 25 years, 23 years, yet kudara, you know, on our dick, they will not even bother about the elections. They will not bother to go and become members of parliament. But because they are coming, because we're now have a clause in the constitution which says we must have 10 youth, because it's now the only source of employment. It's because the economy is not growing.
But I think the idea of bringing in youth as a quota and what is also just maybe to silence them. Yes. By the people that have been in power for quite a long time, since 1979.
As long as one
Senator 2000. I'm not
2000. But I'm saying, I'm not defending myself anyway.
Yeah, I know,
I'm talking about the general problem, which is there. It's because hakuna imwe basa. Then kwa kuna basa, nasuno ya could be living, not see and then to do something else. But hakuna. It's because that focus on the growth of the economy. Africans are not Africans, because I'm looking at the whole of Africa. Nokuti hakuna African country kuita zvakanaka kunzi Rwanda yoga. Amwe ose tangofanana. And we are being controlled by the external forces. That is where my pain is. We are controlled by the external forces. We are not independent. We are not free. We are not thinking among ourselves. No one is. You know what I'm disappointed. Many people quote my books. Somewhere the book was written by so and so. No, that won't help us. Let us be original, innovative, and develop our own systems to not suit our environment. We went to school, Robert. We went to school. We didn't go to school, as I said before, to go and start claiming an Pythagoras theorem. No, we didn't go to school that. We went to school to start to develop our minds so that we can be innovative, so that we can develop new systems and new solutions to our own African environments. And Africa needs new solutions. Africa needs new systems. Africa needs everything different from what the whole world is doing. Look at Asia, it's got its own systems. Look at Europe, it's got its own system. Europe now is doing the GNUs.
But you have the privilege to be the National Assembly. You have the privilege, Senator, to be the National Assembly. Have you taken advantage of your presence in there to preach this message?
Robert, do you know that Europe is now employing government of national unity by virtue of their systems, level of education, and their politics? Go to the German government, France government, French government, Italian government. All are GNUs.
Yes, my question is
because of unity, peace, and focus.
Yes, have you tried to preach the same gospel in the National Assembly? Because you have the
every time when a new motion is raised, I'll always convert it to this message. No matter what message, I'll convert that message to this new idea. I'm actually drafting a motion right now to focus mainly on that. I'm going to be presenting this motion in next week to focus on this. Africans, let's think as Africans.
Kufunga kwenyu inogamuchiro here kana kuti makuda kutsvaga riko zvenyu because kwenyu uku hakuna kungonzwa kuti ninge ataura zvakati zvinosiyana nevamwe tsamba inonyorwa kuna speaker. It's not a secret, Senator. Taona makansela, ma-MP, maseneta ari
asati ndamboona munhu wakaopoza this dream handinayo so far. Munhu anogona kuti akonzwisa hake. But 99% of the people that I've spoken to about the dream, they've accepted it. It's a dream which I believe needs to be nurtured. It's a dream which I want the president of this country to adopt. The dream which I want opposition leaders to adopt so that it becomes a national dream. I don't want it to be my dream because if it becomes my dream as Komichi, I will not be able to implement it alone. I need support from all other leaders, from intellectuals, from traditional leaders, from the churches, from the vendors, from the youth, from the university students. I want them to come on board, from the PWD people. I want them to come on board so that we share this vision. Because this vision will benefit all of us. All of us. Just imagine when we get united, we've got peace, common vision, the Zimbabwean economy will grow and we will benefit. And we've got the reference. We've done it before.
There you heard it. He had already summarized it. Senator Morgan Komichi as a dream, and that dream, he has said it, we cannot add or subtract. If you think you differ with him, if you think you can support his dream, this is the platform. Come with your views so that you can also share with the electorate, so that it doesn't remain a Morgan Komichi dream. This is the platform to support or to oppose it with your ideas. On behalf of Sly Media team, my name is Robert Afmane. Bye-bye.